How many people have 25 or more employees? Raise your hands. Just trying to get a sense. So I want to talk about employees for a minute. Culture. This is managing yourself, 3-person team, 10, 25. I'm a very big believer in starting to follow employees on social media and getting a better sense of who they are. I spend probably 90% of my media consumption just reading comments of the content I put out and the people in my community that read it, and then I click their face and go in a rabbit hole and find out about them. We are spending not enough time listening to our employees, our vendors, and our customers, but the place where you get the disproportionate highest ROI is when you listen to your employees. Retention on the employee level is imperative. Happiness is imperative because it leads to speed. And speed is the competitive advantage that you have against your competitors in your product and service. And when nobody's worried about politics or drama, they can worry about the work. And so I don't want to spend too much time on it based on the hands, but if you were managing people and you've not had a sit down with one of your employees in the last 6 months or a year to find out what they care about today, whether that's money, work-life balance, title, fame, and more importantly, if you have an employee that is actually seriously important to your business, which, oh, by the way, means if you have one employee and they're the only employee you have and it's you and them, and you do not have an understanding of what drives them, you need to have a 2.5-hour dinner and create that glue. Because one of the biggest things I see in businesses and entrepreneurs in failing is the over-reliance on an employee that leaves and then they have to start all over for 18 months or are completely crippled by it. And the thing that could have allowed them to mitigate that disaster is literally a conversation. And if you're not a big enough man or woman to hear the feedback, well, your company's gonna lose anyway. So not having the conversation doesn't address the issues that are happening within your company. So I implore all of you to start getting very serious about this, because if we're having a business talk, the part about business that we don't talk enough about is empathy for our customers, but most importantly, for our employees. None of your employees, I love when people are like, Gary, in conference, like, Gary, how do I get my employees to work as hard as me? You don't, Frederick. No employee should ever work as hard as you unless they have the same equity in the company as you. The audacity that my dad would pay people $12 an hour and want them to work as hard as he did. And it would always make me laugh. And I know it's very Russian and I get it, cultural, fine, but it was super interesting to me. I'm like, Dad, they're making $12 an hour. You own the business. It's hard for them to care. And so I really, really, really want to push empathy for the humans that you're doing business with, because it's how you become the best salesperson. It's how you become the best manager. It's a default of thinking about the other person, not yourself.